So, here we go.
Okay.
All right, we are live. Welcome to Inner Cosmetics. I am your host, Elvin A, along
And
with Mike
the
C.
thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Hello. We're very formal today. Not just kidding.
Psych!
Just joking.
So, this is a
Uh,
really good one today because
yes.
we were just having a casual conversation and we're like, you know what? Let's stop, pause, and jump right into the podcast, actually.
Yes.
Want to run the title, Mike?
Yes. And stop me if I get it wrong, but I thought it was are you living vibrationally?
Mm hmm. Yes.
And the reason we brought this up is because so many good things, everyone, has been happening to us that you have to be conscious of the fact that you need to be conscious of the relative fact to you that you're happy, you're appreciating the manifestations, but you're not letting the manifestations be the sole reason for your happiness. In fact, you can't let it be, because as we're growing exponentially, sometimes contrast will slip in there. And if you've been riding this amazing manifesting wave as well as a vibrational wave of all this amazingness, the second something doesn't go right, air quotes, in your physical world, you take a nosedive without a parachute towards the ground. And there
Yeah.
was that point somewhere where you went from where I speak for me personally, went from
Nope, you
seeing
can throw me
things.
up in there too. That was me.
Okay, we're both in that plane with no parachute. I'm like, but it's like we're up there. Oh my God, so awesome. We're seeing the tide change versus little things, but we know what we're doing. So we're staying vibrational, staying vibrational. Things are happening. You still staying vibrational. Amazing things happening. And there's nothing wrong with being happy, but you start getting so excited about the manifestations
Mm-hmm.
that you somehow hop shit to you are a manifestation magnet and you are getting your energy more from that than you are the vibration, which was the origin of everything that is the reason it's come into your life. And
So,
so it's
so
not
when
like
you
not
say I want to ask, like, for an example, are you saying that we'll take money that's something that's very familiar with a lot of people, and we have a
yes.
tendency to let lead us? So, while we, in one of our episodes, learning not to put things on the shelf, well, we weren't doing that with money. Money was equal. We didn't um, have the love of it at all. It
Right.
meant nothing. And then it started pouring into our life, flooding in.
Yes.
And then that became, is this what you're saying, a
Yes,
source?
100% a
The
focal point.
source. Okay.
Yes, it became too much of a source of the happiness and too much of a pedestal because you were seeing certain amounts where you weren't before, and then you start saying, even if it's a couple, if it's a little bit less, you're like, well, what's happening? What's going on? And and I can speak solely about me with that, not anyone else. It was like as you see it come in, you get excited, and there's nothing wrong with the excitement, but you should be excited because of the vibrational manifestation you did, and let that always take the foreground and
Mm-hmm.
not the physical manifestation. Stay grounded, not grounded as in not expecting more. Expect everything, but know that it's coming. Don't misplace where the source of it's coming from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that reminds me of when they say in the Bible, it's like the love of money is the root of all evil. It's not money, it's the love of it. And I personally feel you can place anything in,
Anything, not just money.
not just money, the love of whatever it might be, fill in the gap, whatever your focal point is the root of all evil.
Absolutely.
Because it will always be the source. The source is always happiness. When you start feeling that misalignment, that's your indicator that you got off track from happiness
Absolutely.
being the source. That's all.
Absolutely. And L, just so beautifully spoken, because when they say God is a jealous God, we're not, remember, for me, and I could feel I can speak for Ellie this, we're not religious at all. We're spiritual. And so we love the Bible because now we read it and understand it for us in a way that makes even more sense to us,
Mm-hmm.
in a way that and we're not picking on anybody who is into the Bible. It's not, everyone's where they are. No one's better or anything. It's just where you are mentally in life. For us being where we came from, I appreciate the Bible more than ever, because now when they say faith is your fortune, They just mean like the more you believe, the more you receive. Not just money, wealth, happiness, love, everything. But
Mm-hmm.
your faith is your fortune because everything's created inside your mind. Your everything and how you feel
Yes.
decides the fortune. And love of money means you're creating a false god. You're worshiping something that has is created as a byproduct of your feelings and happiness. It is not it. So when you make that source of it, it will always let you down. Even let's take money out of it. Let's say if it's a relationship. Let's say you love somebody. They're only in your life because you brought them into your life. But we think that person who's standing in front of us that we can see, touch, smell, taste, all that stuff is the source of our happiness. You're making a false god of them because now their existence is the reason for your happiness. It's not true, but you're making it true.
But yeah, that was well said. And it's so easy. Like Mike said, you can swap money out and place anything in there, relationship
Yes.
included. I like what Neville Goddard was saying. And one of the ones that he shared was about vibration, and the manifestation. I think it's the one that you shared with me yesterday.
Live boldly, living
Live
boldly.
boldly. Living boldly
Yes,
was one, but he has a lot of good reminders that vibrationally, just to remember, you are the creator. You are the creator. People can take money from you, they can extract your vehicle, but you are the creator. They cannot take your ability to manifest.
they can't. They
No
can't
one
at
can.
all.
No one
El,
can.
were you the one that sent me this? El, it was about how this one guy stood up on this podium and he had vanilla coffee beans and he had walnuts.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so it's pretty cool. So coffee beans and walnuts, and he mixed them all in a bowl, and this is on stage. And he said to people, he said, now the bigger thinkers, you would think they're on top just because they're bigger. And the small beans, the coffee beans, are at the bottom. Now, these represent the people who are successful, the big walnuts, and the people that are the small-minded people are just the ones that got the stick in life, the bad rap in life. They born in a bad family, poor, broke, whatever. Somebody beat them, and they just can't be successful. So what
Mm-hmm.
he did was he said, "Watch this." Now, initially, he had the walnuts on the top, the bigger ones, and he had the beans on the bottom, the coffee beans. He said, "Now, if you think that life," he said, "now I'm going to keep shaking this jar because this is how life is. It's constantly being shaken and moving. Life never stops moving." So he kept
Mm-hmm.
shaking the jar. He says, "So if you think that the coffee bean got the bad end of the stick and the walnut got the good end of the stick, I'm going to take the coffee bean and I'm going to put it on the top of this whole pile. And I'm going to take the walnut and I'm going to put it at the bottom of this bowl." So, because I described him to he did it in a glass fish bowl. So everybody could see what he was doing. So
Okay.
imagine a glass fish bowl. He put the walnut at the bottom and he began to shake. The walnut started rising to the top and the bean sank to the bottom.
Huh.
What it represents is when your mind's the way it is, you can take them anywhere, give them anything. And if your mind's not right, you will always show where you are in life. The walnut still rose to the top, even when you put it at the bottom of something.
I haven't heard that one. That's good. That's good.
And it blew my mind. And
Hmm.
I wanted to draw it out so everybody could understand what I'm saying. Glass fish bowl, and he keeps on shaking the bowl. He's shaking the bowl. Guess what? That walnut, which can be you,
Yes.
doesn't matter what contrast appears, it will always rise to the surface. Nothing can hold it down.
I like that, Mike. And living through vibration is so true because you can't fake with the universe. We're energy, we are frequency, and we're
Mm-hmm.
vibration. That's
Mm-hmm.
all there is. That's all there is. Energy.
Yes.
And so vibrationally, um, it's just settling into that feeling of I like the one that I just it was not living boldly. It was something one another one I shared with you. But it just again, just to reiterate, you
Right.
can't fake your feeling with the universe and step boldly into your feeling. Don't be. hot or no, don't be lukewarm. Be either hot or cold.
You can't
Make a
be half in and
decision.
half out.
No, you can't. You can't.
I remember you
And
saying that to me actually. Like I remember you saying it to me one day. And you know it's funny, you're saying it again. And actually when I thought I understood what you said, I didn't.
yet
I
there's a
didn't.
Bible verse in there about being lukewarm. And I'm not that great in reiterating what the verses are of the Bible, but there is one about being lukewarm and I guess God being forsaken. I have to look it up. But what he's saying is either be hot or cold, make a decision. There's never anything wrong. You're just being final, and then everything will yield what it's actually supposed to be. But the moment you're
Yes.
lukewarm, you're just settling and staying in that one.
Yes, because you can claim right now, from this point on, I am going to accept that everything is vibrational first. I know I'm going to have to do some work along the way, but from this point forth, I will always know and accept that vibration is always the leader to anything that manifests in my world. If you claim that
Yes,
right there, make that claim. What they say, go boldly before the throne of God.
yes,
And what they mean is don't be like, does this work? You're like, listen, I have the answer. I just need to understand it more. But I will, from this point, know vibration is my claim to my
it is.
destination.
And it just came through. It's life is a game, and it's your mood that determines the next move.
Wow.
It's your mood. Life
Yes.
literally is a game, and if we can spend time, just spend time in playing a
Hmm.
few hours, give yourself
Right.
a week. Just, hey, it's a game. I'm settling into this. Your
Right.
mood, however, what was that? Was that white powder?
I know, right? You see
That's
that
what
over there? I was
that's what
blowing
it
out a
looked like.
candle. I was blowing out a candle. I was
It looked like you went down.
like, I know, right? No, I was blowing out a
But
candle right here. But
um,
go ahead,
but it
listen.
looked, but yeah, but it's and it's so true. Your mood will determine the next move because Mike, you helped me get out of. I love how we're connected, our
Yes.
siblings, because it's so timely. When one of us are, we never drown, but when we fall into the water, and it's okay because we always do. You will. That's just part of life as being a human. That's a
Yes.
part of the human experience. What it
It
is
is.
how fast you can climb out. That's all.
L, you know, here's the funny thing about what you just said. What you said is so important that it should be blasted across the mountaintops. But you didn't do it intentionally, but it was so nonchalant that people may just say, "Oh, that's cool." No, you have to understand what L just said. It's not what happens to you. It's how long you stay there in that spot.
Correct.
How long are you going to stay there? Stop denying that it happened.
Yeah.
Just say, I feel like shit right now, but
Hmm.
that's okay.
It's okay. Because I always, and I like the vision with the pool because when you're first starting out, you might leap into that pool of
Hmm.
contrast and you're swimming in it and you're just
Yes.
going down, right? But as you get more practice in it, you'll fall in and you'll shake it off and get back. And guess what? There's also a phase where you dip your toe in. You might dip your toe in.
And say, nope,
And you, yes,
not today. Not
that's
today,
correct.
Satan. Not
Not
that there's any
today.
Satan. There is no Satan. But I'm just saying, like, but yes, like you just said, not today. You don't have to jump into that pool. I love that analogy, L. That was real good. You
Yes,
can put a toe in and be like, where's she going? Oh no,
yes.
not
And
today.
understand as you evolve in your, I use spiritual freely, but whatever that, however it relates to you, as you
Hmm.
evolve in your journey of connecting back with your authentic self, you'll find that you're going to connect with people that are like-minded, and
One
it's going to
hundred
be
percent.
those people that when you do find yourself falling into the pool and not dipping your toe in, because that does happen and it's okay, but you're now surrounded by a team of like-minded people that
Absolutely.
when you call them, they can pull you right back out.
Absolutely. Absolutely, L. I couldn't have worded it better. It's like everything you just said is just like so amazing.
And Mike,
To
you have
add,
been that for me for
oh, I
certain for this
appreciate that.
week.
L, right back at you. Believe me. It has been times where I was like, just hear L's voice. I was like, oh my goodness. And not that you should depend on someone's voice or that person, because you always want to know what's in you. But to appreciate that the universe has somebody there to help you is a big thing. And you know what's funny too is so crazy is not needing someone who, let's say, is extended family or someone who's a good friend in you. Let's say they don't believe that way. Stop needing them to understand how
Mm-hmm.
you think. Um, I'm speaking about myself as we do being transparent here. One of the things is stop needing them to be on the same level you are in order for you to be happy. And another thing is too is stop telling people your dreams if you're not strong enough to accept that there's going to be contrast when you tell them. If you can't stay firm in what you believe to be true, telling someone who's not on that same vibrational level is going to hurt you more than it's going to help you.
I actually just listened to that this morning. It's like if
Really?
yeah, literally this morning. It
Wow.
said if you're truly at a place of knowing, and you'll know it. If you're truly at a place of knowing, it
Hmm.
won't phase you, and your belief beyond belief, your knowing is unwavered.
Your acceptance.
Yes, I like that word even better. Acceptance is unwavered by anyone's opinion. That's one level. But if you
That's a high
know,
level.
it's a
That's a
very high
very
level.
that's a high level. You'll know when you're there. You don't have to ask. But believe me, sometimes even when you think you're there, you may not be.
Hmm.
Me included, because I didn't make the mistake, because there are no mistakes in the universe. But I divulged something to someone who wasn't where I was because I was feeling so good, and their response wasn't where I would expect or hear from my family. How did I let them take me out briefly of my excitement? Was because I learned I shouldn't have said anything to them because they're show me, then I'll believe it.
Hmm.
Which is I have to be okay with that though.
Correct.
You can't be like, well, fuck them. That's where
It's
they
always
are
work
in
for
life.
you. It's always
Yes.
work for you
It's more work for me. It's more work for me.
in a good
Going and
way.
yeah, in a very good way. Yes. Trying to change them is the hardest, least responsive way to get a response.
Hmm.
Go inside the mind and
Hmm.
do it there. And you'll know who to share it with. I love the people. It's a very small group of people, but it's I love it. My family, my immediate family, my sibling. We can talk all this stuff that most people would be like, what the hell are you talking about?
What planet have you
What
guys?
planet have you come from? But we feel it so much, and then it's so funny because people who do know us were like, "Oh, y'all are always happy. Things just always." People just who do observe just say, "Oh yeah, it's that family. They just things happening. Like we're special. Like no one's more. Yeah, we are special, but so are you." I'll say it like that.
Very nice. That's very true. That's very true. We live in this world where most people would call it non-reality, but it's a blend of reality, non-reality. It's
Mm-hmm.
not just one thing. It's a collection of things to live in.
Yes.
And
Yes.
understanding it's all vibrational. We were never people to be caught up with money. To me, it's a facade anyway. Money is a facade.
Ellie's very
I
good at that. L, you're very good at that, by the way. I learned so much for you in
thank
these
you.
last 2 weeks. Seriously, with even the manifestations and things like L's laid back response to monetary flowing of money into her life was so blasé that it would be like it was like, does she even care? And you do, but it wrap out the right things, the things that matter when it comes to monetary influx into your life. And for me, I had a more I would say basic 3D response to it, which at one point it goes up. And then if you stay right there, like we're talking about, are you vibrationally excited, or is it, or are you vibrationally based, or where are you?
Mhm.
My response to it was good because I knew where it was coming from, but there was that switch over to keep showing me, and then I'll be happy. Keep showing me, and I'll be happy. What?
Mm.
And it's like, oh, where's the vibration? Because you know what got you here.
Well, it's so funny. You didn't have to ask whether it is a vibration because it showed you when the money stopped.
Or
You
even
said,
slow down a
"Oh,
little bit. You're like,
right." If there was any, you could literally watch the vibration, or you know what I mean, how your vibration was. It was showing you when it slowed down, you were feeling
yes.
one way. When it sped up, you were sleeping. You had let go of it all,
When I
and
let
then
go,
it
then
flooded
it
in.
manifested more. Yes.
And that,
Yes.
yeah, it's actually beautiful to see that it's all energy, guys. It's all vibration, and it's all practice. It's all
It's
practice.
practice, practice, practice. Yes. And the vibrate, I'll say like this. If you want to fast track to anything that we're talking about today, how would you fast track? How would you sum this up? Stop focusing on one thing if it's too much for you. And just like Neville Goddard or even Abraham Hicks said, I use a combination of both. Isn't it wonderful that it's already done?
I love that.
Isn't it
And
wonderful that it's already done?
and before my brain goes, when you said stop focusing on the one thing, myself, I began focusing on one thing being the source of all my dreams. One job coming through that was going to get me XYZ. One source of income that was going to give me that vacation.
Yes.
When you focus on one thing being the source, you
Yes.
close your doors.
You're getting one thing. When you focus on one, well, you're not even
Not
going to get that
even.
one thing. You're not
That's the
even going to get
thing.
that one thing.
That begins, because I watched that. That begins the pause, because it
Yes.
can tell your focus. But once you release it and say, it can come from anywhere.
Anywhere.
It comes
In
from everywhere.
fact, it's already done.
It's already,
It's
yes.
already done. So isn't it wonderful that it's already done? Because remember, you claim that you're now going to be responsible enough to allow your vibrations to be the reason for everything you do now. So you boldly claim that you no longer need your physical life to represent where you are. You're going to boldly claim that everything in your life comes from your imagination and your vibration. With that said, it's already done. How
Which
does
is that what you're saying with you were stating, isn't it wonderful? It's like an open-ended question, because if you again think that a vehicle or XYZ, you could say be excited and you're like about the car, about the house. But when you say isn't it wonderful, don't go beyond that question.
exactly. Just feel good. And everybody, with what we're saying, believe me, it goes against so many things that you've accepted for the last 15, 20, 30, 40 years that you have been told grow up, be responsible, be strong, fight through it. All these things. And now we're telling you just to let go mentally.
Play.
Yeah, and play, and that's gonna get it. No, and some people, believe me included, 4 years ago. But does it work? 100,000%. Yes,
Yes.
every time, not once in a while, every time,
Yes. Never fails.
never fails. So
This
isn't
was
it
good.
wonderful that it's already done? Awesome, awesome segment. This was so fun.
This was good. This was good. Guys, we loved it. We enjoyed it always. We're going to be back
Absolutely.
Friday.
Friday, watch out. We're coming with something else good. We always got some good, crazy stuff coming out there.
Yep. And we'll tune in with you guys then. Make sure you subscribe, place your questions that you might have below, and we'll catch you next week or later this week.
Boom. See you this
See you,
week.
Mike.
Take care and see you. Boom.
Bye.
Bye. That was really fun, wasn't it?